Hey guys, I am here to do the end of summer book tag. I was tagged in this by Steve Donoghue, so thank you for tagging me, Steve. So the first question is, which book had your new favorite character? And now I'm just counting all the books I've read up until today, so through August, to the end of August, which I think is fair because summer technically doesn't end till September 22nd. So my new favorite character, I think, is Richard III from Richard III. I talked about him in my ShakeTube video, which I posted earlier today, but he's just cool. I know Ian McKellen played him at one point, and I really want to see that, because Ian McKellen seems like he'd be perfect. I also heard in Brian's video from Brian's book Bastion, sorry, I can't talk today, that both Peter Dinklage and Kevin Spacey played him. And I kind of want to see all three now. So hopefully that'll happen eventually. But yeah, definitely Richard III. Hands down. Number 2, what was your favorite book of the summer? I had to go with my first reaction for this, because it was hard to decide. I read a lot of books that I loved this summer, but the one that I first thought of was Notes from Underground by Dostoevsky. It just, I was underlining so much throughout the whole book, the whole novel. It expressed a lot of things that I've heard in other places, but it expressed them in such a not necessarily poetic, but an eloquent way, and kind of more systematized, I guess, than I have seen them, because I've sort of seen these ideas in fragments, but here it really laid them all out in sort of a more coherent manner. So yeah, I really liked it. When I went back to updating my commonplace book after I did the commonplace book tag, the preceded about a week of me adding to my commonplace book that I have, and now I've of course neglected it for about 2 weeks. But the first book that I went to add quotes from was Notes from Underground. So yeah, definitely that. Next question is, what was your least favorite book? And I feel bad saying this. I don't honestly feel like I disliked this book, but it was kind of a disappointment. And it was the Prague Golem, Jewish Stories of the Old Ghetto. And it was mainly just that there wasn't as much detail as I would have liked in this. Especially, and it's such a shame because it's such a beautiful edition, as you can see. But yeah, I don't know. I'll still keep it because I liked reading it in conjunction with the 2 other books I bought about the Golem. I might, if I ever have kids, I might give this to one of them as a way to get as early on, because they're very simple, short stories in here. But yeah, I don't know. There wasn't enough stuff. There wasn't enough substance for me, as I was hoping for. So, number 4 is a book you wish you'd read this summer, and that would be one I haven't talked about at all. I promise you this is the last book in my possession that I have not talked about at all, and it's mainly just because I think most people might find it boring. But it is this. Social and Psychological Bases of Ideology and System Justification. Sorry, it's hard to talk when you have a cat trying to latch onto your arm like this. But, this is an anthology of articles edited by John Jost, Aaron Kay, and Hulda Thorsidottir, who are 3 big names in political psychology, which is kind of the field I want to get into. It covers a wide range of topics based on what I've seen of the titles. It looks at the psychology of religion, whether or not people justify the status quo, what affects political orientation, and and it's from 2009, so it's relatively new. I mean, it'd probably still be useful. The main reason I wish I'd read it is because I think it'll be really useful for my thesis. But yeah, so I guess that may be a bit of a boring pick and a bit of a strange title. Psychologists is kind of hit or miss with whether or not their titles will be good. But yeah. Next question. These all have kind of titles I haven't been reading, but this one is assigned summer reading, favorite classic of the summer. And for me, this could have contended for my favorite book of the summer too, but I wanted to have plenty of variety in this tag, and it doesn't have a cover that tells you much, but this is Ovid's Metamorphoses, which, anyway, I promise you that it is Ovid's Metamorphoses. I hope you can see that. But yeah, so this is a translation by, his last name is Humphreys. I can't remember his first name. But Rolf Humphreys. And I just loved all this. I just loved all the stories. Like, I found it so easy to read through because it was so many different stories weaved in with each other. You know, if any story I wasn't a huge fan of, it was going to be over soon. And most of the stories I loved anyway, but yeah, I just enjoyed it. You know, I want to buy another copy. I want to buy an annotated copy with like footnotes and everything, and get a bit more of an in-depth experience with it. So yeah, I'm hoping I can do that next year. But yeah, so Ovid's Metamorphoses. Number 6, Back to School Shopping. Favorite book obtained this summer, and that would have to go to A Bouquet by Karl Jaromir Erben, also known as Kititze. So it's actually, the full name is A Bouquet of Czech Fairy Tales. And the main reason I picked it up, actually, was because the back cover, which came off, it was sort of one of those ones that loops around here, and I took it off just because I like having the book on its own. The back cover said it was a lot like Ovid's Metamorphoses, and basically I saw that and I was sold. And it's also a huge Czech classic. I haven't read it yet. I want to read it. I think it'll be fun. I'm not sure when I'm going to get to it, but it's only like 150 pages long, and anyway, I'm excited to read it. And first day of school, first book you plan to read this autumn. I'm not sure. Well, there's ShakeTube, so I'm of course reading everything for ShakeTube, so that would be the short answer. So all the plays we're reading for ShakeTube. Right now, today I actually finished Romeo and Juliet, on the day we were supposed to post about Richard III. And tomorrow I'm going to begin Julius Caesar, and I cannot guarantee that I won't just finish the whole play in one day, because it's quite short. But yeah, so ShakeTube, and then the book that has kind of been lingering in my mind as something I want to read soon is The Nez Perce Indians and the Opening of the the Northwest, sorry, by Alvin M. Josephy Jr. And this is a giant thing, but it's a history of the Northwest, the settling of the Northwest, like that area from like Oregon to like Idaho and Washington, all that. How it was settled, the Native Americans who lived there, their struggles, how they were subjugated by the United States, and the white people who moved in, and all of that. And I just recently watched Ken Burns' documentary series, The West, and really enjoyed it. And I actually wrote a paper about the Nez Perce War, and I've always been fascinated by Chief Joseph of the Nez Perce, who I believe that is Chief Joseph. Yeah, so this has sort of been on my mind. But I may also actually read this when I'm done with political psychology. I may read this because I am working on my thesis right now, and if this is going to have useful studies and articles for me to kind of have under my belt for that and to cite for it, then this will be important reading for me. So yeah, I think I may read this, and I kind of am enjoying combining my pleasure reading along with my schooling. So yeah, it will probably end up being this, even though I really am itching to read this. But we'll see. And then the last question is favorite subject. Which new releases are you most anticipating? Whoop, we have a cat causing trouble. And I don't really read new releases. I hate to say it. if Days Without End by Sebastian Barry can be counted as a new release since it was released this year, by my standards, that's a new release. That is something I want to read, so maybe I'll just put that as my answer. But I know it's not really what the question's asking about. But again, I don't really pay attention to new releases. Yeah. So the cat is loud today, and she's been loud the last couple days because she's been in heat. So she is not yet fixed, and that's not because I'm an irresponsible cat owner. It's because she's still recovering from ringworm, and I can't get her... Well, actually, just today, the vet called saying that her ringworm test came back negative. So actually, next Thursday, I will be getting her spayed, finally, so I won't have to deal with her going into heat every week or two, because when she goes into heat, she makes loud noises like that, and she's very energetic, and she also urinates on my walls, which I have to keep an eye out for and clean as soon as I can right after she does it. So that will be a huge relief when that happens, and I'm gonna need to go and do a huge sweeping clean of my apartment after she gets fixed. Not just because of her, but also because I've become a bit of a slob with the beginning of the semester. So next weekend I may be doing that instead of posting BookTube videos, although I of course will still post for ShakeTube. Anyway, I don't know why you needed the update about the cat, but people have commented about Bessie. Her name is Bessie, by the way, if anyone doesn't know. She makes an appearance every now and then. Sometimes it's deliberate, sometimes it is by accident, or by her design. But yeah, so anyway, that is the end of summer tag, as well as an update on the cat. So, thank you for watching, guys. Bye!